that, but also we are so excited about you guys coming down to Australia for this tour. Tell us a little bit about how you feel about being able to head back to Australia once again.
Oh, it's great. You know, it's been a long time coming because we had to do a lot of rescheduling because of COVID. So, you know, for it to finally be here is awesome for us. You know, we're just kind of getting to the end of the Hellbound tour, and it's such a great record. So, you know, we're happy to be able to deliver it over there now.
Now, you just told me that you've been working on the new album and you're in Nashville right now. Did COVID give you that opportunity to take a little bit of a break off the road and write a lot more music? Is that the reason why you're back into the studio so quickly?
No, actually, you know, during the 2020 COVID situation, that's when we spent a lot of time writing the Hellbound record, and then we've been touring on Hellbound since June 1st of 2021. So we put in about 230 some odd shows, and we just, every time we were home during the Hellbound tour, when we had little bits of time off, you know, we would write songs, you know, and so we started accumulating songs for this record during the Hellbound tour.
Now, you've got some pretty fanatical fans down here in Australia, and a lot of Aussies love you guys. Is Australia one of those places that you love being able to get back to whenever you can?
Absolutely. You know, you guys really appreciate rock music for all the right reasons, and when we come there, it's like a quintessential Buckcherry show. You know, it's like we go to a new level when the audience is at a feeding frenzy, you know, and so it's really cool for us. It's cool for us to travel so far from home and to have the shows just going off, and you know, such a warm welcome, and people that are really invested in you know, the whole scope of your career, and songs that aren't just singles on the radio, and you know, it's really cool.
And Aussies are lapping up live music at the moment, because for people in Melbourne and Sydney, we were some of the most locked down cities in the world during COVID. Here in Melbourne,
I know you guys were.
We were locked down for pretty much 2 years here in Melbourne. And during that time, I know a lot of people who started to think that they would never see live music again. There were people that were convinced that bands would never be able to come back to Australia. Is that something that you guys were ever worried about, that live music wasn't going to come back, or were you just waiting out the days to be able to get back out there again?
No, we just stayed busy. I mean, you know, I've read a lot of books on pandemics, so, you know, like, I kind of know how they play out, you know, but we just were like, okay, where's it all going to be when the dust settles? We want to have a new record, so let's just put all of our energy in what we can do while we're sitting in one place, you know, and that's what we did. We focused on the record, and thank God, because there was just so much, you know, nonsense going on in the world, you know, that I'm so glad that we had that to focus on, and it turned out to be probably one of our best records of all time.
Have you seen some fans almost change? Like, for me personally, I'm in my 40s, and I'd been going to live shows since I was 15, and I realized that that's just what I did every week. I'd go to 2 or 3 shows, and I almost was taking live music for granted. Now I'll never take live music for granted again. Have you noticed a change like that with your fans?
I mean, you would think so, but you know, occasionally you would feel that at the shows when everything kind of got back into order. But you know, there were so many bands just flooding the market, you know, that were sitting around. So, you know, it was like people had so many options. So they got really spoiled, you know, because they had a lot of people back, you know, wanting to tour. So sifting through all that and dealing with all that was challenging for sure.
Now, I have to ask, what do you like doing away from the stage when you're in Australia? I know a lot of people that come to Australia love to get away and do stuff and explore our country a little bit. What do you like to do when you're here and you're not on stage?
I mean, I would like to do that, but we never have time. You know, every time we have a day off in Australia, we're on a plane traveling to the next, you know, area in Australia. And then by the time we get there, we're so burnt out. We just want to go to our hotel room and chill out because we got a show the next day. So that's really how it's gone every time we go to Australia. But at some point, I grew up surfing and skateboarding. I'm a Southern California kid, born and raised. So, I've always, seen a lot of the waves and surf spots in Australia in video and movies and stuff over the years. And I always wanted to surf Australia. So that's something I would like to do. And then I love wildlife. So I want to go into the bush at some point and maybe get with somebody who could show me around. I could see like kangaroos and like stuff that I would never get to see. That would be cool.
We've got an amazing place here in Melbourne, just out of Melbourne, called Healesville Sanctuary, where they have just about every Australian animal that you could imagine there, but they're also focusing.
That's awesome.
They're also focusing on bringing back animals from the brink of extinction. So saving species of Australian animals. I think you would absolutely love to go there at some stage.
Yes, that is like right up my alley. I love going to zoos. I love nature shows. Like Planet Earth and all that kind of stuff. I love to see how animals work. In the wild. It's so interesting to me. And I would love that.
Yeah, Healesville's got this amazing birds of prey show where they have the handlers stand down in the middle of this big like Colosseum shaped thing, and the birds of prey actually fly around the audience and then fly down and land on the arms of the keepers that are there. And some of the keepers that are there,
wow.
Some of the keepers that are there have actually got a story as well, because they're ex-prisoners that they've trained to work with animals. So yeah, it's an amazing place.
So cool.
Yeah, it's an amazing place if you ever get the chance to go there. So
that's really neat. Yeah, I would. Hopefully, if I have some time, that would be great.
Is there an Aussie animal that kind of intrigues you? I know a lot of our wildlife here is so different to anywhere else in the world that people get intrigued by different animals. Is there a certain Aussie animal that just really intrigues you?
I mean, I can't rattle them off the top of my head. I know you guys got some really big ass spiders and like, of course kangaroos, but that's kind of like a given. And there's some animals I know in the bush that I've never even heard of. That are they kind of look like badgers. I think the equivalent of badgers that we got here.
Oh, the wombat.
But I don't know.
Yeah.
Huh? A wombat.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe that's it. Yeah, but I just like everything. I would just love to just see all the different animals that you guys got going on over there, and the place that you're talking about sounds really cool.
Definitely. Now you're also bringing Fozzie with you this time around as well, and the last time I saw them in Melbourne, they put on an absolutely amazing show. How well do you know those guys, and do you love touring with them?
I mean, I know them good enough as like acquaintances. I mean, we don't hang out and on our time off, but we have toured together, and whenever we see them, it's lovely, and they're great guys, great live show, and it was kind of a no-brainer to put this package together. We've wanted to pair up with them, ever since we played with them back in the day over there. So, this will be a long time coming. It'll be fun.
Now, everybody always tells me that Chris is one of the nicest guys in rock. Tell us a little bit about Chris, because he's such an imposing figure, like with his physique and everything, but he puts on an amazing live show. So how have you found Chris over the years?
Yeah, I like I said, I've only seen him in like small doses. I don't know him personally really well, but he's a really sweet guy to me, and every time I've seen him backstage and just hanging out, he's just a really down to earth guy, but I don't know him like personally really well, so I don't know. I couldn't comment on that, but like every time I meet him and hang out with him, he's super nice and easygoing.
Now, Josh, I wanted to ask you about your set list, because you guys now have such an amazing back catalogue of music. Is it becoming tougher to put together set lists for countries that you don't come to very often, like Australia now?
Yeah, it's getting real challenging, because you have the core songs that you have to play, like Lit Up and Riding and Sorry and Crazy Bitch, and and then I gotta kind of mix it up from there, and it's really up to me because I have to think about, vocally where I want to go and how I manage it over, a headlining set period of time, So, but we always mix it up every night, and we have a lot of people that come to multiple shows, and everybody seems happy. So that's all that matters.
The last album was such an amazing album. Like, a lot of people said it was the best album that you guys have ever recorded. How have those tracks been going live? Because
I agree.
It's such an amazing album. How have those tracks been going live for you?
Yeah, it's hard because we could do the whole record. It's so great, and we were doing we were doing a lot of Hellbound songs on the Hellbound tour, of course, but yeah, they've been going over really great live. We kind of rotate. We do 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 and So Hot like pretty much every night, and then we rotate like Hellbound. Well, we do Hellbound a lot too, but I think we've been throwing in No More Lies and Barricade and Wasting No More Time and The Way we do occasionally and Gun. We just rotate all those songs. So there's just so many good ones. It's hard.
Awesome. Now, mate, you mentioned you're in Nashville at the moment recording. How far along are you with the new album, and when do you think we might expect to hear some singles come out from it?
We're all done except Stevie. Stevie's the last man standing, and he's going to be here till Sunday, and I'm going home tomorrow. The rest of us are going home tomorrow. We're all done, so yeah, it's really good. You won't hear anything till probably first single will probably drop maybe March of next year, but the record won't be released till I think June 1st.
Awesome. And I've got to ask, because Nashville is on my bucket list of cities to visit. Tell us a little bit about Nashville for all us Aussies on the other side of the world. What's it like as a city, and what do you like to do when you're there?
Oh, there's a lot of music. So if you come here, you can see a lot of live shows. There's a place called Music Row, and you can just basically go park and start walking and jump in and out of bars and clubs and get your drink on and have a good time. I mean that's Nashville. It's very humid here as far as the weather. Humid place, so it gets kind of steamy in the summers, but it's a great place. Like a lot of musicians live here now. So that's Nashville, and we like coming here to record. And Marty lives here, that's why we come here. But yeah, it's cool.
Awesome. Well, mate, to wrap up, what would you like to say to all of your fans out there before they go out to grab tickets for these shows? Because there's only a few tickets left. So what would you like to say to everybody out there? The ones that have already bought tickets and the ones who haven't bought tickets.
Yeah, listen, I want to say to our Australian fans, first of all, we love you, and we are so grateful that we get to come and visit you and do this and rock your socks off, because it's been a long time coming. So those of you who were in at the first, when we scheduled the first time, thank you so much for hanging in there, and we're gonna make it worth your while. So suit up, show up, and have a good fucking time, because we're coming. We'll see you in 2 weeks.